Let's then look at why mother tongue. I just previously said that the early years education, I strongly recommend being in the mother tongue. Why in the mother tongue? Let's assume for a few minutes, when a child comes to school for the first time, does he or she know anything? If you ask teachers the same question, the response you get is no. They don't know anything. I, as the teacher, have to teach everything to them. To me, this is incorrect. Research on our own Pakistani students leaving home and going to school for the first time has shown that these children come to school with an average vocabulary of at least 3,000 words. How did the student learn all this without ever meeting a teacher? See, from home. It was the mother tongue. The child may not know Urdu, the child may not know English, but the child knows a lot in his or her own mother tongue. And if the child can learn all that from home without a teacher having to teach it, our children are smart. They learn all this through observation and listening skills. That's how young children learn. They don't learn by reading and writing. Nobody at home taught them to read. Nobody at home taught them to write. But they used two other skills, observation and listening, to learn so much. When we teachers assume that these children know nothing, we are not right in our assumptions. These children know a lot, yes, and they know it in their mother tongue, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, if early years education continued in the child's mother tongue, it would promote access, equity, self-esteem, faster acquisition of basic literacy, and would contribute to higher academic achievement. Access. If early years education was provided in the mother tongue, parents would send the children to school. Access would be there, because parents would not have to work at home or worry about Urdu and English and those kinds of things. They can still communicate and have conversations with their children, which would lead to access to education. Equity means boys and girls, all children of a particular age who should be in schools, would be in schools. All children, regardless of gender or where they come from, would receive education. Self-esteem, because the children would understand better their self-esteem, their self-worth, their self-ego would rise. And that's what education should do, raise the self-esteem of children. Faster acquisition, they would learn faster because they would understand what the teacher is saying. It is a language that they know and are familiar with. So faster acquisition, and with all this, eventually it would lead to higher academic achievement. They would score better, their grades would be better, they would turn in better work. The quality of education in the mother tongue would suddenly change how students perform and do in classrooms and in schools. Therefore, mother tongue instruction in the early years is highly recommended. There are significant human and linguistic resources in the regions that can be built upon to support mother tongue as the medium of instruction throughout primary school and teacher training. Now, throughout primary school means at least up to grade 5. I am recommending that we at least begin by doing it in the early years, before the child gets to grade 1, and then see how we can develop the materials. There is no sense doing something for which materials are not available. The teacher in the classroom is not going to be able to independently develop all materials. And if we want universal education, same education for all children, no matter where their school is, the teacher cannot be left to develop the materials. Because then, different teachers will be teaching different things, and the universal education in the process will be lost. And that is not what we want. Moreover, teacher training will also have to be looked at. Teachers who get trained will have to know what to do in mother tongue instruction. They will have to be sure that they know that language themselves. And you can't have 5 or 6 different teachers speaking a different language in one classroom at the same time. Economically, that is not going to be possible. You are not going to find one teacher who speaks 5 and 6 different languages able to teach these students together. So what are we going to do? How are we going to address this issue of mother tongue instruction in the early years?